Hi everybody! Today is Monday, August 11th, 2025. Hope your week is getting off to a great start. Mine is because I have today off from work. Couldn't get any better than that. Got to spend some hours at the beach with my fiance before he had to go off and do his part-time job. Whatever. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. So, I know people have been waiting to see what I ended up doing with that 3D blanket. But before I get into that, I want to welcome back all my crafty yarny friends who have been here with me for a while, and my future ones that are watching this and running my playlists, because I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I got a few after the last video because analytics show that I have a lot of people that watch but are not subscribed. So if you think you're subscribed, you might want to check, because sometimes YouTube likes to unsubscribe us from channels that we like to watch, and then we don't get notifications and we're like, what the heck, why hasn't this person put out a video? We go check, and next thing you know, we've got like 6 to watch to catch up. So just a little heads up on that. So yeah, this won't be long, not at all. I want to show that I did get the 3D optical illusion blanket completed. The pattern I found on Instagram at Highway Catcher, and I used a 4.5 millimeter hook, 4-weight yarn, mostly big twist, some Premier. I'm kind of looking around because things are a little untidy, I'm not gonna lie. In different colors. So this is the page on the front of the pattern. Another picture on the back. She used purples, but you can use whatever family color you want. You just have to keep white, light gray, dark gray, and black the same no matter what you pick. So it's light to dark, and then you pick minimum 1, 2, 3, 4 shades of your color that you'll put on dark to light, and then your lightest color will be your joining color. We chose blues, and I decided to do the zigzag join by Jada and Stitches, and it appears that I had too many stitches and possibly tight tension, because where the squares met, like if I felt the spaces were too big, I might have put in an extra stitch. And I was debating whether to frog it and start over and rejoin all the squares, or just go with it, attach them, border it, and call it done, even though I would not be happy with it. So I asked my fiance, because the blanket is for him, and I'm like, what do you think? Because if you think it looks like crap, you're not happy with it because it's poofy and bunchy and I'll rip it out and start over. And he was like, rip all the squares out? And I'm like, no, just the join. So we laid it out on the table. What I had so far, I had maybe 4 of the 5, 3.5, I don't know. Rose joined, let them look at it, and he's like, well, I watched your video and I think the poofy bunchiness of it helps you see the 3D illusion, like it's popping out at you. And I agree. But I told him it normally would lay flat, and he didn't want me to rip it out. He's like, no, I like it the way it is, whether he's just being nice because he loves me so much and doesn't want me to go through all that extra work. He's happy with the blanket the way it is. So I finished joining the squares. I put 2 rounds of border on and half double crochet and called it done. And it's not as big as I thought because of the tension and the bunchiness, but in the pattern she had you do 36 squares to get a queen size, and this was more for snuggling, watching a movie. So I'm like, 25 squares will be fine. But it doesn't really look that big. But we will make do. And it's done. So let me show you. And believe me, it is not perfect. But he likes it because I made it, and I'm okay with that. Live and learn. So let me get the right. So this is the way it should go with the white down in the corner. And it's, so it's 25 squares, 5 and 5. And like you can see, I don't know if I need to pull on it, but it's a little bumpy here. And I can't see what you're seeing because of the blanket, but you can see like over here, it's a little bunchy, but if I like kind of poof it out, so there's the bottom, So I think if I do any more optical illusions, I'm not going to use the zigzag. I noticed a certain way it was harder to see where to keep going back and forth because you skip. I'll just go back to the old-fashioned way of right sides together and whip stitch. But this is it. I hope everyone can see the optical illusion because there's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's just me. So let me know in the comments what you think. Can you see the 3D optical illusion? I did not measure it, but this is basically a foot to waist blanket, depending how tall you are. But it's done. And it's not like, he's going to be needing it anytime soon because it's a hot one out there. That's why we were both off from our regular jobs today, and between buying the house and packing and work and more work and family and all those fun things, we're like, we need a day together to just chill out at the beach for even a few hours. And we both needed it, and it was a great day for sure. So that's done. And I have one more finished object to show you, but you're all probably seeing this over here and wondering where my shelves are. and the rest of my yarn, well, I started packing. And this room, I'm trying to pack up, and like my bookshelves get pushed out to the next room. That way, when people are helping us move, things are in an area, it's easier to grab and play Jenga on the truck. So all I have left to pack is 3 bookshelves and some odds and ends Bernat blanket over there, and like, I'm not sure if I'll do another video before we move. We are supposed to move August 23rd. That's a Saturday, so I'm not sure if I get another video in or not. I would like to get another video in showing you what I've decided to work on next. But worst case, if I don't, my chair and my table, I mean, I could sit anywhere and record as long as I got my tripod, let's be real. So that's what I've been up to, and that's what I'm going to be doing today after I upload this video, is to decide what yarns I want to keep out and get the rest of it packed up and out into the other room. But before I get off on that tangent, the next thing I did was I finished a Lovey blanket. So I watch Rose from Rose Likes Crochet. If you don't know who she is, go watch her because she's tons of fun. And she has a charity for generous crafters that she got in contact with, and people can make things monthly to send to her, and then she'll show them on her channel and she'll send them off to, or take them to the place. And for August, the thing to make is Loveys, which is you take a stuffed animal, you crochet around a hairband, you know, for ponytails, and then it slides over the head of the stuffed animal, and little ones can carry them around. They have the stuffed animal and they have the little blanket, which I've made one for each of my grandchildren so far, except for the one that's due the beginning of September because we don't know the gender still, and we won't till he or she is born. So then if the blanket gets dirty or the little one just wants the blanket, like in their car seat or whatever, it just comes right off and they have the stuffed animal and the blanket. So for August, Rose has a bunch of stuffed animals, and she had 20. And if anybody was interested in just making the Lovey, because it would be cheaper to ship that to her, you just send her an email, and if she still had any left, she would respond with a picture of what she assigned to you, and then you pick your yarn, weight, colors, whatever, and then you're going to make it, and then you're going to mail it to her, and she'll show it on her channel, and then she'll take it to them. So I emailed her, and I was number 15 out of 20. And I can't show you the picture of the animal because it's on my phone. But just so you know, it's a stuffed animal, brown bear, and it has red and white, I believe. So I wanted to use blanket yarn. So I used Bernat blankets in the color Autumn Leaves. And these are the colors, and this is what I have left. It was a brand new ball. I have 2 of these, so this is what's left out of the 2, or no, out of 1, sorry. I still have 1 up there. But what I want to do, well, never mind, I'll tell you in a minute. So, any hooser, I used a 7mm hook, that yarn, and I crocheted around a hairband. There's several tutorials out there, but I used the one that's for a granny square type with like the 3 clusters together. There is one where you go around the hair tie first in either like a bunch of singles or half doubles, and then you create your granny squares. You know, I'm sure you know. But I use just the straight granny. And this is what it looks like. And so it'll go over the head of the stuffed animal, and it will be the blanket. Let me see. How's that look? It's probably easier to show. I mean, I think this is how people make cardigans, isn't it? But without the hole in the middle. Anyways, so these are the colors, and these are the colors that are actually in the bear. And if you watch Rose videos, when she gives you like updates and stuff, you'll eventually see this. And yes, Rose, I have a cat house, so I will have this in a bag because she's allergic, folks. So you want to put your stuff in plastic bags, but she still accepts the donations. So there's that. And again, it will go over the bear's head because it's stretchy with being a hair thingy. And it will just hang. And it's because it's blanket yarn, it's so soft and squishy. And yeah. That's it. So I'm going to get out one of my bags, put her P.O. box on it, and sometime this week, hopefully, get it out of the mail. I want to do it before I move because I don't want it to be lost in the shuffle. So those are the 2 finished objects that I have. That's all I've been working on because I wanted them completed. Now, what am I going to do next? I have found 2 patchwork patterns, one for a bear, one for a bunny, and it uses blanket yarn. And I have 2 old cheese balls containers full of scraps of Bernat blanket. And I am going to make one of each, the bear and the bunny, out of my scraps just to see how it works up and how easy it is. I think I want to make the ears, the arms, and the legs first. So I'm going to try to crochet them in as I go because I do not like sewing pieces and parts on Amy's. It's not something I enjoy doing. So that's some things. Now those 2 cheese ball containers I can leave out. I also, looking through my blanket yarn, like for this, for example, I have like 2 of each color. So I'm thinking I'm going to go on Ravelry because you can put in how much yardage you have and see what kind of, and yarn, and see what kind of patterns come up, because I would like to make a bunch of smaller blankets depending how much yarn you need. I think 2 might be enough for like toddler size maybe. Or, I mean, I might do that with some, but then also I've had this idea that I've never done a market or anything, but we have like every summer like village yard sale type of thing, and you can set up and sell whatever on your street, and you get a crap ton of people walking up and down looking at your goods and purchasing things. So because I don't do the markets, I'm thinking I want to crochet a bunch of things, keep them in totes from now until this yard sale happens next year, and set up a couple tables and see how things work out selling my stuff that way. Just to get people's feedback on, you know, what they're seeing, what would sell the best and things like that. But those are things I want to do in between, like bigger projects. So right now I don't have anything in mind except for like the patchwork bear and the patchwork bunny. And I want to make softer, smaller blankets for like toddlers to use up some of my Bernat blanket. But then again, I have all these cakes, which I love, and I love how they work up. So I'm thinking do a little research to see what kind of patterns come up for these, specific to these yarns, because I think you can do that as well. And it's crazy because I have notebooks full of patterns that I have printed and stuff, and when it comes to me finding a pattern, I'm just looking on YouTube or Ravelry and doing it that way. So I don't know. But all right, you all let me know what you think. And I appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend time with me. So please like, subscribe, share if you want to, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.